UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I am usually the head of astrophysics, but I like to change up my career every week, so I'm the head of going back to work. So listeners, if you don't know, I have been working from home as a teacher and doing remote learning with my students since we didn't actually go back after Christmas. And this week I went back to work for the first time, and it was just very surreal. And it was very tiring.
Are all of your kids back or just a certain number?
A third each day. So like Monday is the red group, and that's the first third of the alphabet. Tuesday's the blue group, the middle third, and then Wednesday's the third, which is the end of the alphabet.
How many of the red group make it out alive?
Well, that was my concern, In any case, listeners, you have just heard my lovely co-hosts, Councillor Amy Nelson and also Diplomatic Standard Bearer Kevin Scharf.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. It's so nice to see you.
It's good to be seen.
Yeah, so I start with kids coming back on Monday. So we shall see how that goes. We have a very convoluted schedule. I could not try to describe it in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going to try. But my students have a choice, and I think my largest class will be 4 students, and then the rest will be still continuing online.
Wow.
My largest class on Thursday was 10 students. We have to ensure that they can socially distance in the classrooms. And in my science lab, I can fit in 12 students just at a push, with me as the teacher. If there's anybody else comes into the room, it doesn't work. So very interesting. Just nice to be back and speak to real 3-dimensional humans.
Yes.
And have that face-to-face contact. Mm-hmm. I shocked myself with how much I actually missed it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's no replacement for that. I am not a teacher, but it's our busy season at work because I make flags, right? I work in a flag factory. When do most people need flags? For Canada Day, which is July 1st. So that means stores order big numbers of flags in February, March, April. So I'm working lots of overtime so that I can take some extra time off later, and it's all good.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're making a lot of Canadian flags at the moment.
Yes.
And people just don't randomly buy like a Ugandan flag for Canada Day.
No, not generally. I mean, we do international flags, and one of my jobs this week was unloading a truck that was just full of rolled flags. They come in on big rolls, and we trim them and hem them all up. And there were rolls of American flags and Union Jacks and Scottish Standards. I think I sent you a photo of the roll of Scottish Standards. Yeah. I
just realised that I didn't reply to that message. How rude of me. That flag is known as the Lion Rampant because it's the red lion up kind of on its hind legs. Red lion on a yellow background.
Yeah, well, we have those in 3 different sizes. So
very interesting.
It's very
I'm sure they're all standard sizes, aren't they?
18 by 36, 27 by 54, or 36 by 72. Those are in inches.
It's like I've called up the flag company, and like, what do the prices start at?
Oh, I can't tell you that. I don't work in sales. I just know sizes.
And do those prices include tax?
No.
And what about shipping?
No. I would direct you to our website.
Okay.
Or Amazon. We sell through Amazon as well.
Oh, very, very good. Excellent. Well, I'm sure our listeners don't want to hear a call about flag buying. Normally we would go to the communication array.
Logs accessed.
To check to see if we have any feedback. But we don't have any feedback from our wharf profile from last week. So please, listeners, if you listen to our podcast, please leave us some feedback, because we would be delighted to give you a shout out and read it out on air.
Mm-hmm.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
So, listeners, we normally on Galaxy Class stick with TNG themed topics, but we're going to diverge slightly. And we're known for our divergences, where we go off the beaten track and sometimes talk nonsense. It's usually Amy. More often it's Rhea. I can say that because she's not here.
She's not here yet. Let's just blame it all on Rhea.
Exactly. It's Rhea's fault that we don't have any feedback as well. What else is Rhea's fault?
We'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Come up with something. So, what we're going to talk about today is Star Trek in general, and the memorabilia, paraphernalia and collectible items that we either have or we want, and just the Star Trek related things that are quite precious to us. So I think that my first question to you guys is, why do you think Star Trek stuff is so collectible or so important for fans to have? Amy?
Wow. That's a loaded question there. Why is it important? I will speak for myself. Why do I have Star Trek collectibles? It reminds me of the Star Trek philosophy and family that I have come to adore, love, appreciate, and try to incorporate into my daily life. And so when I have all of my collectibles, and they are pretty much all at school, I also like that my students are more apt to ask me questions about Star Trek, where I can then pass on the wonderful Star Trek philosophy and idic and whatever they need to hear, I get to tell them about Star Trek. And so I like getting those collectibles, and in part because my collectibles really, I'd say about 90% has been given to me by people. Like when I look at a specific, say, coloring book or a pin, like because someone gave that to me, it's not only associated with Star Trek, but with the person that gave it to me. So there's many meanings when I look at my collectibles.
I like that. Kevin, what about you?
Well, I think, it's an outward facing showing of what we love inside, right? Like, I love Star Trek, so I want to be surrounded by Star Trek stuff too, right? So I'm not a huge collector of lots of memorabilia, but it's nice when you're just in your everyday life and you walk by and you see my Geordie LaForge tiki mug out of the corner of your eye. It reminds me about something I love, and that's what memorabilia is all about. It's about bringing up memories of things you love, and sometimes they evoke places, the place you got them, or the person who gives it to you. But it all comes back to the love of Star Trek, and so that's I think that's where I'm going to fall on that.
No, I think that's a really good point. Calling it memorabilia invokes the memories of what it means to you. And to come back to Amy's point about kind of family, the Star Trek family that we've created through podcasting or through going to conventions, that's really important. And in life, you always want to surround yourselves with the important things that are valuable to you, like your family, like your friends. And for us, the philosophy of Star Trek, and while it's just an entertainment show, I think it's more than the sum of its parts. It has a really important message for the future. And for me, I really want to surround myself with that important message. So it reminds me to try and follow the tenets and the precepts and follow IDIC and do it in real life. And hopefully as a teacher like you are, Amy, I can not indoctrinate the next generation into loving Star Trek, but certainly use what I know about Star Trek to have a positive effect on the next generation.
I think also that back in the olden days, before the days of podcasting and internet connections, having Star Trek stuff also meant that I knew I wasn't alone, right? before I made, I've been going to conventions since the days of TNG, but they were few and far between, and it was once a year, and I didn't really get super involved in fandom. But I have a run of Star Trek comic books, and I have a Geordi LaForge action figure, and having those things meant that I knew that other people had them too, and that I was part of a community as well. And I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at, especially the kind of memorabilia that I had from the olden days of the 1980s.
That's a good point. I think for me, being in Scotland, there was never a big convention to go to. I think my first proper Star Trek convention was not that long, only a few years ago in Birmingham, Destination Star Trek, probably about 5 years ago. There have been like smaller Comic-Cons throughout the years, but it's for every franchise, mostly Star Wars usually. So yeah, it has that connection of, for me, I didn't have any Star Trek friends, and I didn't have a connection to the franchise other than through the things that I owned at the time.
You know, and it's interesting as you talk about conventions, because there's a pretty large one. Maybe you've heard of it in Las Vegas.
No, Amy, don't. Stop, Amy.
But if I purchase a collectible, again, like I said, 90% of my collection is stuff given to me. But if I do purchase, I always get it at a convention. I'm not one to just go online and buy it randomly throughout the year, again, because I want that association. So like, when I look at my comm badges that I wear, every single one of them I bought at STLV. And I could get them anywhere on the internet. I could get them anytime during the year, but because I bought it there, and I love walking around the vendor rooms and, okay, what do I need, to last me for a whole nother year? Because I'm not one to buy just randomly. Again, I like that association with, well, I bought it when I was with Joe at STLV, or, so I see what you're saying with that link to the conventions and to the family is so strong, I believe. I
think throughout life, I've always been a bit, I want to say materialistic, but that puts a negative connotation on it. I like to have things. Like, I'm crazy for spending money. I never have any money because I've spent it all mostly on Star Trek stuff. So when I say I'm surrounded by Star Trek ornaments and just stuff that's mostly plastic, and it will far outlast me, because plastic won't biodegrade. It'll be like the house will fall down and there'll still be all my Star Trek stuff on a shelf somewhere. So I just like to be surrounded by stuff and own little bits of the franchise. So
do you guys buy Star Trek stuff year round, or are you like me that just sort of gets it at convention time?
No, definitely buy it all year round. If we see something we like, we're just going to buy it, essentially.
I don't buy a lot of stuff. And I find as I've gotten older, I just feel like I don't need more stuff. But I love T-shirts. So when they had the disco T-shirts on the show, I'm like, oh, I need one of those. And I went and bought that from Discovery. When I was younger, comic books were my thing. I collected lots of comics, but I did collect tons of Star Trek comics back in the day as well. So I wanted more stories. So that's where I was buying novels and comics, and that's sort of where my collecting started from. But I don't go out and buy a ton of. I'm not an action figure guy. I don't have toys, I've got a few, but nothing that I went out and purchased. Again, people give me things, so.
Yeah, see, mostly if it's something like action figures, now you pick up things at STLV or on other conventions and stuff that I wouldn't naturally collect, like action figures. I'm not a big action figure fan, so that'll go into my classroom and it'll be part of my little Star Trek shrine, because I'm not really a huge fan of it, so it'll go there and it'll still be that reminder to me.
I was amazed at the amount of really nice swag I came home with from STLV. The first and only time I went, which was in 2019, people were giving away really nice stuff. I've got one of those Starfleet visitor badges from the first episode of Picard. Some panel I went to, they were giving those away. When I did the VR experience thing, they were giving away these action figures of Dr. Phlox that were in a signed box, and they're beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I went to, I think it was a mission log panel, and they were giving away swag anytime you asked a question, and I got a page-a-day Star Trek calendar. I came home with much more swag than I expected to, and I didn't spend a lot of money, and it was just a really nice surprise. So
Well, that's cool. Shall we move on to our first question? What is, for us, is our most obscure piece of memorabilia? Amy, do you want to go first?
Yes. Obscure being a definition of unique.
Unique, maybe not a lot of people have it, maybe one of a kind, or maybe just obscure to you. Is it something that people would maybe associate just with you and nobody else, for whatever reason?
Okay, well, I will save that for favorite possession. I'm sure people know I love Troy, so I'll save that for favorite. My most obscure possession, I think, would have to be a stamp set, rubber stamp set of the original series. And this thing has to be 40, 50 years old. I mean, they're square stamps with the image, and they're just flat, and there's about 1 inch by 1 inch square. And so there's 6 of them. And it's got the Enterprise and Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and then like a random original series tricorder or scanning. Do they call them tricorders back then?
they did.
So,
Yeah. And it's this stamp set, and the rubber is so old that it's sort of, curling, and I absolutely love it. I've never seen an original series stamp set like this before. So I'm going to say that's my most obscure. And what happened was this was given to me in 2002. It was my second year teaching. And again, I had parent nights, open house, and the kids and the parents come in at the beginning of the school year to go around and meet all their teachers. And the next day, I had a student come in early, Miss Nelson, and I still remember, yes, her Kayla, and she came in and was like, my dad saw that you like Star Trek, and he had these things, and she gave me an old, had to have been like maybe 12-page coloring book with these stamps, original series, original, 76, I think is the copyright, and gave me these things. And I just was so ecstatic. And I'd never seen anything like that ever.
No, I've certainly never heard of anything. I fear that I'm going to have to change the whole topic of this podcast, because you guys are going to give me ideas for things to buy, and I'm going to spend all my money again. Like Ewan thinks I'm a bit of a hoarder. I hate throwing things out, and especially Star Trek stuff. That's got a Star Trek stamp set. Who knew those existed? Obscure possession.
Obscure. That's crazy. I just had a flashback of a memory from when I was a little kid, like before I was a major Star Trek fan. And back in the olden days of the 1970s, you used to be able to buy utility belt toys for kids. And I had a Star Trek utility belt. I remember this now. And it was a belt that went around your waist, and it came with a phaser that shot these little plastic discs out and a communicator, and it all attached to the belt. I have no idea where that is now. If it even still exists, it's probably destroyed. My sister had a Wonder Woman one, and I had a Star Trek one. That's pretty obscure.
You got the better deal.
I think so. Well, hers had a tiara and bracelets with her belt.
Oh.
So yeah, and a lasso, and mine had a phaser and a communicator. But I do have. I'm gonna pretend that listeners can see and show it up for the camera. Maybe we should. I'll just take some screenshots here. So I have this book that is Star Trek: The Enterprise logs, and it is a reprinting of the original Gold Key comics. Like the first 6 issues, and this was printed in 1976. So that's pretty old and obscure. Somewhere, I was looking for it this morning, I couldn't find it. I have the Star Trek: The Next Generation VCR board game. Do you guys remember this?
I have that, yes.
Do you have a VCR player?
I do. It's not hooked up to the television.
Have you played it before?
Not since the 90s, I think. So
I played it right before I gave up my VCR machine. So that had to have been like 10 years ago. But yes, I played it because I'm like, if I own this, I need to play the game before the technology is gone. So
I'm sure
we should do it. We should have an episode where we actually play the game. You can play the VHS tape, Kevin, on your machine, and we've all got the board. So
you got it too, Joe?
Yeah, we've all got, the three of us have it, so.
I bet the video is on YouTube. I bet if you searched online, you could find the video of it.
More than likely.
There is, and sidebar, the original Earl Grey team played it on an episode. It was awesome.
Fun. So I've got that. I have a Star Trek The Next Generation trivia and exploration game. I do also love these crazy tiki mugs that a friend of mine gave me. I've got this weird Geordie LaForge tiki mug. Yeah.
Okay,
so
obscure.
I
Focus.
don't.
Yeah, the VCR game. Yeah,
that's pretty obscure.
Yeah, very obscure.
This mug that I'm showing off now was handmade by a friend. So this is a one-of-a-kind Star Trek collectible made for me by a friend. That says it's just a plain gray mug that says "Tea Earl Grey Hot" in cutout letters on it. So I do love that as well. So I mean, you can't get much more obscure than this is the only one available in the world.
Yeah, that kind of has to win hands down. Excellent. So I think my most obscure thing, I'm musical at heart. I play the piano, so music's always been a really important part of my life. Ewan is a fan of vinyl records, and we've been buying Star Trek on vinyl.
Ooh.
So I've just brought a small selection. I'll do it in order of least favourite to most favourite. So that one is a pile of trash. No, I jest. It's the Star Trek Picard soundtrack on vinyl. The music is one of the saving graces of Star Trek Picard, I think. Jeff Russo is such a good composer. And similarly, I really quite like the music in Discovery. So we've got Discovery on vinyl.
I didn't even know they made these. This is awesome.
It's a bit of a renaissance for vinyl. Lots. If you're bringing out any music, you're going to have it pressed onto vinyl as well, because there's a market for it. If you have fans, they want to buy vinyl. There's also a resurgence in the market for audio cassette tapes. People are increasingly bringing things out on tape. Yeah, I'm like, why would you?
That's the worst medium.
I know. I really like this one because it's just it's a beautiful movie. Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's a beautiful movie and it's a beautiful soundtrack as well. Is this? I forget. I thought this was the picture disc. It's not. It's just a piece of black plastic. So there's that one. I think the most obscure one, the one that's my favourite for a very specific reason, is the Next Generation one. Okay. Now, there is, it's from Encounter at Farpoint. It's by Dennis McCarthy. The music was composed and conducted by Dennis McCarthy. And it's got the main title that was composed by Jerry Goldsmith and Alexander Courage. However, there's an alternative TNG theme on it.
Ooh. And
I would like you to listen to it. You can find it on YouTube. I'll post a link on the Federation Council Chambers. Listen to this alternative end credits theme and then listen to the theme tune for the Orville. And they are indistinguishable.
Oh my gosh.
They are so close. It's not even funny. Yeah.
Yes, please post that link.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane, we know he's a Star Trek fan, and he must have been inspired. If he's not heard this alternative TNG theme, then there's something weird happening with the universe. So yeah, I think that's maybe my most obscure possession. The TNG Encounter at Farpoint on vinyl.
Well, now I'm getting very excited when I come to visit that we can listen to Star Trek on vinyl. A new experience for me.
Like in the olden days.
Yes.
Okay, that's fun. I can feel my next pay packet just fritter away out my bank account. What is our favourite possession? Or could be just your favourite thing. It could be handmade. It could hold some kind of sentimental value for you. Kevin.
Well, I love book lists and chronologies, and I like to do things in order. So I love. There are a couple of books that I've got. I've got the Star Trek chronology, which puts every event. This is an older version. I don't think it goes up. I don't even think it finishes DS9, this version. But it puts every Star Trek event in chronological order. Oh, it does go up through Voyager. But then there was also this book, which is called Voyages of Imagination. This is the book that lists all the books. And it puts every Star Trek novel into context with a chronology at the back. And it lists all the books up through... when was this book published? Well, it was after Enterprise, so 2006. This book was from 2006. So I mean, it needs to be updated, of course, but But if you like chronologies, like it shows where the books fit in between the episodes and movies and that kind of stuff. I love that kind of thing. So those are the kinds of things that I love because I'm a nerd about minutia and chronologies and lists, as anybody who knows me knows.
That's a really good point. I like Star Trek reference books, like technical manuals. To show you all the like intricate workings of how the starships work and the Enterprise D blueprints, because there's so many pages of minutiae of where the dolphins live and all that kind of thing. So
exactly,
yeah, definitely a fan of those. What about you, Amy? What's your favourite thing?
Okay, well, my favorite things are all things Deanna Troi. I have quite a few of her little action figures. Richard, Richard, previous host of Earl Grey, went to a comic book store, and I guess they were having a sale, and he shipped me like 5 different Deanna Troi. I've got her Durango. I've got her in the blue uniform, her red uniform. Like he gave me a Lwaxana. So I have a bunch of those action figures that I like and that come with all of her little pieces and stuff and her laptop so she can counsel and stuff. But my favorite Troi action figure is the tall one. She's in season 1 Scant. She's crossing her arms. That one is my favorite by far. It's the most realistic. It was given to me by a very good Star Trek friend, so that's associated with that. I also have the Deanna Troi plate, which I absolutely love. And so I have this shelf and area of Deanna Troi. That's I pay homage.
Your shrine.
My shrine, yes. Yeah. That really is, I just love looking at all my Troi paraphernalia, little collectibles, and just things associated with her. One of my favorite handmade gifts, however, is some cross stitch. Dear good friend Haley Stoddard, hopefully you guys know her, but she cross stitches, and she made and then the Delta symbol. I love Star Trek at like a bookmark. And I absolutely love that because, number one, I can't cross stitch. And to think of all the time that she spent making these for her friends, just truly remarkable. So that, I think, and then, I also have another cross stitch that says Tea Earl Grey Hot from one of my teacher friends who knows absolutely nothing about Star Trek. And again, I just find that so remarkable that she spent all this time stitching it for me for Christmas. You know, Yeah, I really love it when I get things from people. It just is very, very nice. So all of my Troy, it gets lumped together for my favorite.
We could have guessed it was going to be something Troy related. But you make a very good point. I think your favourite things are more likely going to be things that people have made the effort. And like your teacher friend has, knowing nothing about Star Trek, not even being a fan, they've made that effort to go away and investigate, or they know you very well. And so they've put time and effort, not necessarily money, but it's just the time with you in mind to do that. So that's a lovely idea. I think my current favourite, do you know what? All of it's my favourite. I wouldn't surround myself with all this stuff. Like, there's a wall on the other side of the monitor of ships, and there must be, it's the Egomos Star Trek Starships collection, and there must be like 100 ships.
Wow.
All just right there. And there's more downstairs, and there's more in the library room next door. I love my Star Trek starships because I like spaceships, and I wish I was in space. But my current favourite thing is the Roddenberry.com Horgon for when one is seeking Jamaharon.
Oh my gosh, Joe.
That's hilarious.
And you know, if you know me, you know I'm always seeking the Jamaharon. Do you know we've taken to keeping it in the front window of the living room that faces out to the street? And we're just waiting on the day where somebody comes up and knocks the door and says, "Are you seeking Jamaharon? Because I am too." And we're like, "Oh, that's a bit weird. Please go away, I'm phoning the police." So yes, this is the official Roddenberry.com replica ornament. It's really heavy.
Looks it.
I don't even know what it's made of. It kind of has that wood effect, as if it's been hand carved by rice and tribes in the olden days. But yeah, I think it was quite expensive. I think you get them for like $200 or some such. But Ewan found like discount codes and vouchers and a bunch of stuff and got it for like $70.
Nice.
So yeah, this is my current favourite possession. If you ask me that in maybe 5 minutes, it might have changed. It might
be something different. Yes, and I think we should have that as a caveat. Like, just like with Star Trek, my favorite episode is going to change depending on where I am right now. Yeah.
I was just thinking too about something else that I've got that I should have mentioned, and that anybody who follows me on Facebook will know about. And it's my little Captain Picard bookmark that he sits in my car, and I take him on adventures, and I make silly posts about starship adventures. So this week we went and got an oil change, and so Captain Picard asked Geordi to run a complete diagnostics on the engines.
Yes, he did.
So I'm having fun with that. It's the cheapest little piece of memorabilia you can find. It's just a Captain Picard bookmark, but I love him, and he's my traveling partner right now.
No, and I absolutely love that because there's other fans that do that. I have a good friend that I co-host with on Union Federation podcast, Kevin, and he calls it traveling Tosk from DS9. And so he takes his Tosk everywhere, and seriously, I mean, and it's a small little action figure. So it's like he's on top of the Scotland mountains and over in Australia, and like traveling Tosk, and he takes them everywhere. Wow.
The Scotland mountains, apparently that's a place near me, I imagine. Interesting. Cool. Lots of good picks there. Lots of stuff to affect my bank account, but thanks for that, guys. Kevin, you made a really good point about it's just a Star Trek bookmark. It's like they're 10 a penny, but it's those little things that bring you joy, which are the most important. And that's what matters. Let's move on to our most valuable possession and take the word valuable for whatever meaning you want it to have, please. So I'm going to go first with this one.
Please.
I think technically the most valuable thing that I have is the 1976 Star Trek wristwatch.
Oh.
It's got Spock on it. And the hour... Is it the hour and the minute hands are the Enterprise and the shuttlecraft?
Oh my gosh.
Kind of rotate around, so I think if it's worth some money. It's very valuable to me because when my dad was a taxi driver years ago, he picked somebody up and they happened to be trying to sell this watch. And my dad, known me, I was a Star Trek fan, he bought it for me. And that's just a pure coincidence that they happened to have a watch and I happen to be a fan. So technically, it's probably most valuable. It's very valuable to me because it was a gift from my dad. However, the thing that I always go back to is my Star Trek Micro Machine collection. Now, the Micro Machines were, I think they were produced by Galoob, certainly in the UK.
I think so, yeah.
I might be wrong about that. But they're just little plastic toys. These little pterodactyls.
Oh, fun.
Romulan Warbird. This little Deep Space Nine. And they're just fun. They all came with little stands, but what I like to do with them, and I didn't do it this year, but last year, you know those transparent Christmas baubles you can get?
Yes.
Where you can fill them with your own thing.
Yes.
So I put in each bauble, there was its own little Star Trek starship. The whole Christmas tree was covered in Star Trek spaceships.
Oh, how cute.
How wonderful.
And do you know what? It was, I think for a set of 3, it was maybe £5 way back in the 90s. They're literally just worthless plastic. But I love it. I keep it beside me, like at my desk from when I was working from home. And sometimes I just pick out a wee spaceship and like have a wee simulated battle. That's my most valuable possession because it's valuable to me and I love having it. Ewan is confused as to why I haven't actually just thrown it out because it's just taking up space. It brings me joy. Amy, what about you?
All right. So valuable again is very subjective. Again, because all of my stuff is hand-me-downs, obviously not valuable. People just, it's like, oh, I know that you like Star Trek, and so I don't care about it. I'm going to give it to you. So you don't get anything valuable. However,
if you weren't taking it, it was going in the bin.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So no monetary value whatsoever. However, I did get, again, from Open House, and this was 2000, this was pretty recent. So 2012 it was. Bailey, see, I remember my students when they give me stuff. Her father worked for Paramount Studios and had the authentic like negatives of fan shoots from the original series. So I have black and white. So they're the negatives, you know, black is white, white is black. And I have at least 13 8x10s of these authentic press release images hanging up on my wall. And I think they are valuable because they are real. And I have not seen these images before. And I think I really should get them autographed. I should at least get William Shatner to autograph his. And, you know, before they all pass, they're sort of leaving us. They're getting old, you know. But I think that because they are authentic and real. Again, TOS, I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but they are probably the most valuable. If I were to, I don't know, I guess I would take them to a convention and ask around what people would want for them. I don't know how to assess value of Star Trek things, but
I like that. Please tell me these prints are in frames.
They are in frames.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes. I had them actually for a couple years because I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? And then I just bit the bullet, bought some frames, and I have them above one of my, because there's 12 of them, 13 of them. And so they're above one of my bulletin boards in my classroom.
Love that. Love it. Kevin, you?
This is a tough question. I don't think any of my collectibles really have huge intrinsic value. I do have runs of Star Trek comics, specifically the DC Comics runs from the 80s and early 90s. That might be my most valuable. I mean, those really were valuable to me as further stories of my favorite characters. So I've got to give it to those. But I don't go in for high-end collectibles or things that appreciate in value. I'm more of a T-shirts and somewhere I do still have a set of 25th anniversary Star Trek trading cards. Do you remember those?
I have a bunch of set of those too.
Yeah, half of the cards were red and half were blue, half were next gen, half were original series, because that's all there was back then. So somewhere I've got that. When it comes to like monetary or intrinsic value, none of my things are super valuable. Doesn't mean I don't love them. Like my Captain Picard bookmark.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's your most valuable possession then, because it means something to you.
Yeah.
It holds an intrinsic value to you.
Yeah, it's
and it tells us about your joy of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So talking about those cards, I've ended up with a bunch of different sets. And so we got some, I think it was on Earl Grey. Chris Tribuzio sent us a set. Yes, he was our patron over there. So I have like the complete TNG collector cards. Do you guys have that? And then I have like a DS9 that's sort of a brown. And then I have the TNG ones with the blue border. And then I have more like the game. Like
yes, the talk of cards just sparked the memory of me of the Star Trek collectible card game.
Yeah, so I have a set of
those cards too.
Yeah.
Is that the ones where there's like a bunch of different characters and there's ships and there's like anomalies and they all have powers and yeah. Never figured out how to play that.
It was not an easy game to play. It wasn't. It didn't make as much sense as like Magic: The Gathering, which was sort of based on.
But, based off that Magic card game. Yeah.
But I did buy quite a few packages of the Star Trek, I think it was specifically Star Trek The Next Generation, the collectible card game, as I recall.
So question for you, how do you store those cards? Because right now, mine are all opened and I've got rubber bands.
Mine are in binders, as I recall. With the special card pages, the plastic card sleeves, and you put the cards in the sleeves and the sleeves into binders.
See, I was thinking in preparation for, this discussion, I was looking over my things and I'm like, I have all these cards. I should take better care of them and put them in the sleeves. But then they're going to be in a binder, which is not out on display. And then I won't, because every once in a while I'll just, grab a deck and just, peruse them and then put it back. Like I am enjoying them, but I don't know that I would in a book, in a binder put away, You
just store the binder where you keep your favorite photo albums. So whenever you're nostalgic, you can pull it out.
Yeah. So I was just wondering how you store some things.
Yeah. Same binder, just because I wanted to protect them a little bit better.
You can also get special card boxes too. Any sports card store will have them.
You guys have sports card stores?
Well, we did back in the 90s. Comic book shops. Yeah, sports memorabilia stores.
Wow, we don't have those. I don't think I would never look for a sports memorabilia store, so there may very well be many of them.
Hockey and baseball cards were huge here. I don't know. Are there football cards and cricket cards in the UK?
I don't know. Why would you ask me about cricket? Football cards that are certainly back in school, like primary school. If you liked football, you would collect the Panini,
the stickers,
the stickers, yes, and you'd have the magazine that came with it, and there would be space for all the stickers to stick in, and like there would be so many kids out in the playground, flicking through their cards so they could do swaps and trades, saying like, and you go need got, need got, and that's all you would hear for hours. I wasn't a fan of football, so I never got into that. So
similar thing, but trading cards instead of stickers. That was huge here. And there is still a sports card memorabilia store here in my little town. So hockey cards are the big ones around here.
Wow. Who knew? Okay, so we've spoken quite extensively about the stuff that we have. What about the stuff that we don't have and we would really like? Is there anything that we have a burning passion to purchase? Or for our loved ones to buy us, anything we really need in our lives.
I've got a weird twist answer to this question. I have a design in my head for a Star Trek t-shirt that I really want, that I need someone to design and produce for me. Basically, I want a t-shirt that's like, like a rock tour t-shirt. It would have a band logo on the front, and on the back it would list all the dates where and the cities where they're performing. I want a t-shirt that just says Star Trek across the front, and on the back it has all the series with dates in between, like a timeline that runs down the back with the logos of all the different shows. I've got this design in my head. I just need to sit down and design it. Listeners, if any of you are graphic designers and have a burning desire to design this for me, I would appreciate it. This is the thing I want.
I'm sure listeners can make it happen.
That is awesome. An original creation. Oh, love it.
Then you'll get the cease and desist from CBS.
Well, yeah, there's that possibility, but...
Well, just so you know, my school has a digital media program where kids are, doing that. Literally, my digital media teacher is 2 doors down the hall.
I feel an extra credit assignment coming on.
Absolutely. That's why we have students, so they can do our work for us.
I will also take a t-shirt, please.
There's 13 movies and 14 TV series now, so
14.
It's close to that.
Is there? Wow.
No way.
Well, let's count. Original, next animated series, Next Gen, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy.
Well, but that hasn't been.
I know, but we're still counting.
It's coming out this year.
Prodigy.
Okay, so 11.
Short
11?
Treks.
Oh, Short Treks.
Short Treks, 12.
That's 12.
There must be something else in production. Are we not missing something?
Well, I don't know. Are you going to count Section 31 show?
Kind of rumored.
It hasn't officially been announced yet. So
yeah,
there you go. That's 12.
Yep.
Wow.
14 movies and 12 TV series.
That's a lot of TV.
Yeah, right.
If I ever go on Desert Island Discs, like the one thing luxury item that you would take with you, it will be the entire Star Trek collection.
Yes.
There you go.
Like,
it's over 800
flash
episodes.
Drive. Yeah, I will never be bored on the island.
Yep.
So. Cool. Amy?
Yeah, I will. Well, we were actually talking about it before. What is it that I need? Listeners, if you're listening, no. This is really for my family. I would love to get that TNG companion book. And I'm really quite surprised that I have podcasts on TNG now for 3+ years and I don't own this companion book. I feel this is a travesty to myself and to my listeners that I don't have this book. It needs to be fixed immediately. And I did get an Amazon gift card from, students and stuff for Christmas. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy it. And I went on Amazon and there was like one left and I ordered it. And then they're like, I get an email a day later. We don't have this in stock. So I have tried to get it once and it just didn't get through. I think this is a hot item that is no longer in production. I don't know. So I would definitely, I feel that would further my knowledge and love of TNG. So that is truly something that I would purchase and I should do a better job in getting my hands on it because I'm sure it's out there.
This is the one by Larry Nemeczek?
Yes.
I feel like this isn't a wish list item. This is something that
it's a need
to fuel your very existence.
Yeah.
You know that thing about you can survive, like there was one guy who survived a year without food. All he drank was water and took some multivitamin supplements and minerals. And you can survive like a couple of days without water. And you can survive like a couple of minutes without oxygen. Yeah. Average. Yeah. I think you will not survive very long, Amy, without this TNG companion.
I'm really beginning, to feel it. So that is my, need.
Amy's fading away in front of her very eyes because she doesn't have this book in her life.
I'm looking at Amazon right now. It is available. There's one copy new. It's $136.
Oh my gosh. See what I'm talking about?
And you can get a used copy for $23.38 plus $7.50 shipping.
Yeah, I've tried. That's probably the one I've tried. And then they
Sold
emailed
by
me back
We
saying,
Buy Books UK.
all the way over there.
I know, imagine.
Well, I will have to pick that up when I go to Destination, hopefully, if they're still going to have it.
Or when you come and visit Joe and Ewan.
Yes.
And Kelvin and James.
Yes.
Okay, do you know, I really don't know. There's so many things that I would just buy because I would like them around me. Is there something unique? I keep on seeing people doing cool electronics with high-powered laser diodes. And so you'll get like a toy phaser and you'll put a super high-powered laser diode, like one that's illegal to possess because the light from it would literally burn out your retina, or like fell planes from the sky if you shone it at the pilot. So yeah, like to start the barbecue, just a hand phaser with a real laser in it, and you could ignite your kindling.
I love that.
Would be quite cool. Also, if I've got like disobedient students, I could give them a small burn.
You will not.
As punishment.
Have you, Joe, seen those ships? My friend that lives in Berlin, I don't think he listens, but hi, Christian. He built a Voyager and an Enterprise D, like it was a kit, but it lights up. It has all the little lights, and it's like very sturdy. Mm-hmm. It's pretty significant size.
Yeah, I have a bunch of model kits that when I was a teenager, I used to build all the model kits, and in my bedroom, I used to use fishing wire to hang them from the ceiling. So, like, just eye level, there was a Romulan Warbird, there was a Klingon Bird of Prey, there was Deep Space Nine and the Enterprise. There was a bunch of different Enterprises. So yeah, I have all them. I did get a couple of fiber optic lit kits.
Yeah.
But they were very, very, it was beyond my skill level.
Come on,
at the
Joe.
time. I know, but now I'd be like, this is easy.
Right.
But back then I'd be like, there was a tiny, like, individual fiber optic strands. So one fiber optic strand would light up one window, and there was bundles of fiber optics. There was hundreds of little strands for all the windows all over the ship.
That's what my friend built. Yeah.
Yeah. It comes with this tiny little drill bit, like a fraction of a millimeter, and you would use it, but then it would break, and you would like have drilled out half a window. You'd be like, okay. So it was something, it's a summer holiday thing for me when I've got 7 weeks off to just sit and potentially do. The thing that lets me down is my ability to paint.
Oh.
Without it looking like some kind of nursery schooler kind of did painting with their fists. So,
well, is that something that maybe Ewan would enjoy and then build it together? Oh, okay.
Have you guys seen the pictures of what our former co-host Pierre and his son are building?
Oh yeah, so
yes.
I think it's an eagle moss. You get a part sent to you every month, and you add it to your what will be a giant model of the Enterprise D. Yeah, that looks pretty amazing.
And I think that is a lit version as well.
I think so.
Really lit with sound effects potentially. It is definitely eagle moss. So, but like if we buy any more eagle moss stuff.
Okay, there is something that I wish, since we've already talked about what I need. Hint, hint, listeners. Do you remember, Joe? It had to have been, I think, 3 years at STLV. There was a seller in the vendor's hall. And maybe, Kevin, you remember this too. I think it's when we had our Earl Grey or Trek FM dinner. Is that 3 years ago?
No.
2 years ago? 2 years ago, yeah.
It feels like 3.
Yeah. There was a seller in the vendor's hall that had these beautiful large rugs, and there were these lacquered tables.
Oh, the tables.
With the Enterprise D. I saw that, and I walked past every single day, and I thought for sure I am going to buy that. I could use it. I'm one that needs to use things functional. I was like, I could put that in my classroom and use it. And then I'm like, but then I wouldn't want to put anything on it because then you're not seeing the Enterprise D. And so I was going back and forth in my mind. And if I just had unlimited funds, I would have gotten one of those huge, large rugs and that huge lacquer table of the Enterprise D. That's a wish.
Nice.
I remember those tables like vividly.
They were gorgeous.
They were just very beautiful, weren't they?
Yeah.
But like traveling millions of miles to come on vacation, I wasn't getting that in my hand luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you live locally. You could have just had it.
Yeah, I could have popped it in my car and drove it
Yeah.
home 20 minutes away.
Oh, that's another thing I need to buy, a coffee table that's Star Trek themed.
Right?
Here. Oh, you guys, killing me.
What about like flatware and dinnerware?
Oh my gosh. Did you see the China set? Yeah.
Gorgeous. There's some gorgeous stuff out there.
What is it? The Star Trek 6 China set, the white one with the blue rim around it. I think that's really tasteful because it almost feels a bit US presidential.
Yes.
Now, like it belongs in the White House. I think they probably styled it on that theme.
Do you know, real quick, a listener and patron of the network, Thad Hait,
Yes.
has that? Oh, and then I'm like, okay, that's my second reason I need to go visit Thad because he's got the China and I want to go eat at his house.
He just posted he wants to have a Trek themed dinner party soon.
Yeah, because I remember the convention where he bought it. And we were talking. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have a Trek party and a dinner. And I'm like, oh, I wish I lived closer.
Nice. The one issue I have is some like dinnerware can be really tacky. I've seen it's black dinnerware and it's LCARS themed.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen. That's more of a daily.
I'm like, don't like that.
No.
I think dinnerware, something that you serve food on, should showcase the food. And shouldn't have like it's like having your dog's face on your dinner plates. I mean, it takes away from the food, I think so.
Yeah, the China set is very classy and would highlight your food.
Yeah.
Exactly. And unless, Amy, did you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think no matter what type of fan you are, whether you're brand new or lifelong, I bet everyone has some kind of Star Trek collection. It's so fun to see all the varieties and what's out there because there's some things that I would have never seen, like those vinyls. I did not even know that they produce them, especially nowadays. So please share with us pictures, photos, or tell us some, maybe one of your most valuable or your most favorite possession or obscure. We'd love to hear and see what you are collecting to represent your fandom.
And if you like me, like as a person, then please just share the stuff that's affordable. Because then I'll just be envious that I don't have this thing. And if it's expensive...
I thought you were asking them to send it to you.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you could also do that. If it's expensive, send it. If it's affordable, I could buy it myself. So there's always that option. Kevin, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to go back to what we said at the beginning, that I think things spark memories, and Star Trek makes us happy, so having Star Trek things around makes us happy too. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's a good final thought.
It's in a nutshell, isn't it? If it makes you happy and you like having it around you and it brings you joy, have it.
Incoming transmission.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show and hope you'll join the Facebook group Federation Council Chambers. You are welcome to start conversations with us or add any general Star Trek info you want to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email the network at our brand new email, galaxyclass@ufp.earth. And we would love to read your email on the show.
So please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcasts with our master feed by searching for the United Federation of Podcasts. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, General Quarters, Mickey's Marvels, Infinite Diversity, and Trek Pod. So, Amy, where can people find you when you are not surrounded by Deanna Troi action figures?
Oh, well, when I'm not in my classroom, surrounded by all my Troyness, you can find me here on the network where I'm hosting All Good Things. I am also on Union Federation podcast that talks about both the Orville and Star Trek. So I'm very interested, Joe, to what you said at the top of this podcast, because I want to see and listen to that. That's very exciting to me. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, and of course, there on Facebook at the Federation Council Chambers. And Joe, where can people find you when you aren't playing with your Galoob miniatures?
When I'm not doing that, you'll probably find me still doing that because it's so much fun to do. But when I'm not, on the off chance that I'm actually not doing that, you can find me also in the Federation Council Chambers. You can email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com. You can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK. Kevin, where can people find you when you're not skiving at work making your own Star Trek flags?
Yeah, that is a possibility. We could do that, but I haven't, and I should. But if I'm not doing that, you can find me on a couple of other podcasts I do, which include True North Nerds. Our next episode will be out next week, and we will be talking about the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which just dropped this week on Disney+. And I'm on Stage Whispers, the local theater podcast, which will come out in a couple of weeks. You can find me on Twitter at True North Nerds, on Facebook, and in the Federation Council Chambers.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
So if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFPearth. That's patreon.com/UFPearth to get all the details.
We would like to recognize our executive producers, Brandon Shea Mutella, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore, and Tony Robinson. We would also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music, and Tony Robinson for our amazing artwork each and every week.
Thank you for beaming aboard the Galaxy class, and until next time,
thank you for the things.
Great joy and gratitude.
Bye-bye from Spock Duck.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.